67 and 7.
Catch up on your correspondence? Boy, the roads were bad.
Sign pictures.
Monday night.
Let me know when you're up and running. Thank you. We'll go ahead and call the December 18th meeting of the Mooresville Redevelopment Commission to order. First item on the agenda, approval of minutes from our executive session on November the 7th, 2019, our regular meeting on November the 7th, and the meeting that we had on December the 13th. I'll take a motion in any form on the minutes.
Motion to approve the minutes from November the 7th, 2019 and December 13th, 2019.
I have a motion to approve the minutes of November the 7th and December the 13th.
Second.
There's a second. Any discussion? Questions? Seeing none, all in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstention? Motion passes. Next item on the agenda, financial reports. I'll give you a couple of minutes to view the financial reports since we just received them this evening. I'll accept a motion when you are prepared.
I'll move to approve the financials.
We have a motion to approve the financials as presented. Is there a second?
Second.
There's a second. Any discussion or questions? Seeing none, all in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstention? Motion passes. Next item on the agenda, public comment. Seeing none, we'll move on. I would take chairman's prerogative and modify the agenda because we have an individual making a presentation that needs to leave for another engagement. Banning is here to present their recommendation on the awarding of the State Road 67 Merriman Road, Bethel Road contract. Mark, you want to come up? Please give us your name and address of your company, and then you can go in and make the presentation.
Mark Butler with Banning Engineering, 853 Columbia Road, Plainfield. On December 13th, we received 4 bids for the Merriman and Bethel Road reconstruction project. All 4 of those bids were from qualified contractors that are in the business. 3 of those bids were very competitive. We're very pleased with the numbers that came out. The apparent low bidder was Kreider and Kreider Incorporated. After a non-comprehensive review of all the paperwork and pricing that was presented in the bid packet, it seems complete and in order. So based on that review, we'd like to put forward and recommend Kreider and Kreider for the Commission's consideration to award the bid. Any questions at this time?
Give us those amounts.
Sure. The amount to be awarded is in 2 pieces. First, the base bid is $2,687,118.50. The alternate one is $571,722.26.
And the recommendation is to approve both the base bid and the alternative one.
That's correct, both base bid and alternate one.
Questions for Mark?
What was the second highest, or second lowest bidder? Sorry.
The second lowest bidder was E&B Paving. They came in at $2.831 million for the base bid. Would you like me to read the whole number? I can.
That's less than, or that's more than the,
Yeah,
yeah, that's fine. I
Yeah.
just wanted to put it in the record, but.
sure.
It's less than.
Sure. It's $2,831,343.78. And the alternate for them was $553,225.22.
Okay,
Yep.
thank you.
All right. Any other questions at this time?
Any questions? Legal, anything?
Nope.
Very good.
If there are no questions, I'll accept a motion to approve.
Make a motion that we approve notice of award to Kreider and Kreider, both base bid and alternate one.
We have a motion to approve the notice of award to Kreider and Kreider. Is there a second?
Second.
There's a second. Any questions or discussion? Seeing none, all in favor, aye?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstention? Motion passes. Thank you. Thank you, Mark. Next item on the agenda, Gateway Project update. Chelsea?
You have before you the State Road 42 High Street NDOT agreement between NDOT, the town of Mooresville, and the Redevelopment Commission. This has been approved at the town council meeting last night. And again, this is for the project that NDOT is initiating that will supposed to let in December of 2020 from bridge to bridge on State Road 42. It is the Redevelopment Commission's participation involves street lighting and sidewalks, both a variable width sidewalk on the north side of the road, and then there are pieces of the sidewalk on the south side that NDOT will not be replacing. So we are going, the Redevelopment Commission, what is in this contract, is that the Redevelopment Commission would replace the parts of the sidewalk that NDOT will not replace. So it will be an entirely new sidewalk.
And what this agreement does is basically put into writing what we, as the commission, have already approved from a financing standpoint on this project. So you've already approved it by resolution or by vote. So this is codifying those terms along with the town council. As Chelsea mentioned, the town council did approve this agreement at their meeting last night. I believe you've all had an opportunity to review this agreement. And, excuse me, I will accept a motion.
Motion to approve the construction, joint use, and maintenance agreement with NDOT.
I have a motion to approve the construction joint use and maintenance agreement with the NDOT and the town of Mooresville. Is there a second?
Second.
There's a second. Any discussion?
Do I recall that our contribution on this project would be like 80,000, is that right?
No, our contribution is $1.5 million.
1.1 and some change. It is highlighted. There's 3 different portions of it. It's broken out. Let me pull that out. These exact.
And these dollars are coming from the Gateway Bond project, not general TIP revenues.
I thought we were getting into an NDOT project where we were finishing the sidewalk across people's driveways.
That is part of this.
That's the 80,000.
Yeah, that may be,
Yes,
yeah,
that is
yes.
correct. So, the page 4 and 5 of the agreement. Bottom of page 4, it starts cost of the construction of the new sidewalk is estimated to be $300,000. Cost associated with the new, installation of lighting is estimated to be $750,000. And then
There's 80.
south side,
Yeah.
south side of the road sidewalk is $80,000.
Yeah. So this is truly a partnership with NDOT, and it's truly redevelopment in the town.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah, the redevelopment commission this was part of your gateway plan, was to address High Street, and NDOT decided that they were going to address it, so it made sense for the redevelopment commission to partner on it.
So do we divert gateway funds, or were gateway funds already set aside?
They were already set aside.
Okay,
Yeah.
I just want to be clear.
Yeah,
Thank
no,
you.
this was part of the Gateway project, or in the Gateway plan, and if these expenditures of these funds fall into line with that plan. Any other questions?
Well, just an observation.
Yes, sir.
I think it's amazing that it takes 23 pages to have a hearing.
With legal counsel sitting here, I won't make any comments.
I didn't draft it.
We had requested a 1 or 2 page document, and this is what came back. Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any other questions? Seeing none, all in favor, aye?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Abstention, motion passes. Next item on the agenda, you have anything else on that, Chelsea? Next item on the agenda, Bicentennial Park deed. I think it was last year, sometime last year, maybe even longer than that, the redevelopment commission and the Parks Board entered into a memorandum of understanding regarding ownership of Bicentennial Park. Both parties signed that memorandum of understanding. It has not been executed, nor has the deed been executed, because at the time, the Parks Board had the belief that they would not be able to allow alcohol at use in the park. And at that time, that was the belief of the Parks Board. The Parks Board has since found that that may not be the case. And at one of their recent meetings, the Parks Board did approve alcohol to be used in the Bicentennial Park as one of their resolutions, and I'm looking for the date. Resolution 1-2019, I believe is the resolution. Correct me if I'm wrong, Chelsea, and I see Mark Taylor is here also representing the park. So that had been approved. We were just waiting for the Parks Board to take this action or to have it cleared up as far as the use of adult beverages at Bicentennial Park. We were filing the deed at request of the town. It was not a decision or request by any of the commissioners, but to allow alcoholic beverages to be used in the Bicentennial Park, we had to retain ownership of the park until that issue was cleared up. I think I got that all correct, or nearly correct.
The MOU was executed.
Right, but not filed. The deed was.
The deed hasn't been
the
filed,
deed has
correct,
not been
but the
filed.
MOU was
Was
was signed.
by both parties.
Yes.
So, do we need,
You've already
We've already
approved the
approved it.
transfer, so
So-
you can,
so it's just filing the paperwork?
yeah, we just need to file that.
So, I'm assuming there's a consensus with the commission to go ahead and move forward with filing that paperwork?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Anything else on those issues, Chelsea? Old business, we've already taken care of awarding of the contract for State Road 67 Merriman Road. Second item on the agenda on that section is grading. Chelsea, do you want to update us on that?
If I may, I mean, project manager's prerogative, is that a thing?
No, but, no, but go ahead.
Should I try? Chris King with Redevelopment Construction is here, and if he would come up and give us an update on where we're at with the Shell building, a brief update, I think that would help
Okay.
us lead into at least two of the other three items.
All right.
Yeah, so we're just proceeding along with design at this point in time. We have placed orders for steel. We've got a deposit in with the American Buildings Company for the building itself and with the precast as well. So we're in line for those production and engineering is going on those at this point in time. All of the civil work has been completed and has been approved. So we're ready to start moving dirt in the spring as soon as the weather turns, which will just be, I think, advantageous from a cost perspective because not trying to do things through the winter, especially when we get into this grading issue, because with the impact of the road of where things needed to be placed with Haymaker Drive, we've got a lot of dirt that has to be moved on that site. I don't know if many of you have driven by it, but there's a lot of relief on that site, and I think there's probably more than a lot of people realize. So as we started getting into the design of the road, we're looking at some areas where we're cutting where the road is 12 feet, and in some areas we're filling up to 9 feet in order to make it work. But it maximizes the potential for the site, and ultimately it's gonna work out to the benefit of not just this project, but for the entire east side of the creek. Okay. Do you want to stay up, answer questions?
If anybody has.
Questions for Chris? No.
Thanks, Chris. So that leads us into the grading issue. Essentially what's happened is when we entered into the DOT agreement with Runabout, that did not include the road, Haymaker Drive, and the detention pond, which will support the Shell building. So there will be a detention pond, on that lower southeast quadrant of the property. Detention pond, Haymaker Drive, and then the Shell building. So as a part of the 067 Merriman Bethel Road project, we're including the detention pond and Haymaker Drive, okay? So that was alternative one, that's what we just approved. In the BOT agreement, Runabout had some money built in for grading for specific to the Shell building. You just heard him talk about the grade differences. So when we really started to get into the engineering of both the road and the Shell building, it became obvious that grading was going to be an issue, and the way we had it set up was that we were handling it separately, which doesn't make a lot of sense because it's all one property, so we should be grading it cohesively. So what I am requesting is we have a couple quotes, and we're actually waiting on a couple more. But there's going to be, what we're trying to do is streamline the process as well as the cost and make sure we're minimizing that. So some of the grading, is being absorbed by Runabout in DOT agreement. But there is an additional $550,000 worth of grading that we're gonna have to do, that we took out of the road project so that we could comprehensively do it with Runabout in the building. So that we're not essentially moving dirt to set dirt, to then move dirt again for two separate projects. Does that make sense? It's kind of complicated, so I don't know if I did a wonderful job of explaining that. It's very complicated, not kind of complicated. Questions this far? Have I lost everyone completely? Okay. So my request is that the commission, would approve an additional expenditure of up to an amount not to exceed $550,000 for, grading for the Shell Building Road detention area. Legal counsel, feel free to jump in there if there's anything else
That wasn't part of the alternative that was in?
No.
Okay.
that is just for the construction of the road and the detention.
And we're receiving, we've gone out, requested for quotes or?
Yeah.
Okay.
We have them Rich and I talked about it.
Okay, so we're not awarding anything, we're just
Correct.
approving the payment for it?
Yes,
Okay.
And not to exceed amount.
not to exceed, correct. $500,000. Questions?
Questions for Chelsea?
Yes.
So it requires a restudy of whatever grading was going to be done, and so does that require adjustment to the engineering?
Yeah. So essentially, how we had it broken out before, if we had left it, the road bid that we just awarded would have been higher because it would have included this grading. When the engineers, first of all, Banning is doing the engineering, they did the engineering for the road and the detention pond as a part of our road project, and they're also doing civil for Rock. So what was going to happen was we were going to grade for the road and the detention, put any excess dirt essentially north of where the Shell building will go, and then Runabout will come back in when they're gonna build the Shell building and reallocate dirt there. That doesn't really make a lot of sense. It's all one site, so we just need to do it all together. So that's what I'm presenting to you now, is let's save a little bit of money and do it cohesively as opposed to moving dirt twice and spending more money. Did I screw that up too bad, Chris?
No, I think that's, just to explain maybe a little bit.
Yeah.
The excess dirt from the road, since we're doing such big cuts and fills, will go to build the pad for the Shell building. And so we had, based on the initial design, we had all that site work built in, but we didn't have the site work for the road and that detention on the other side of the road. And so this would allow it to be all done as efficiently as possible, instead of cutting the road, the pond, stockpiling the dirt, and then having to take that dirt and then spread it to the pad. So it's just eliminating that stockpile portion of it.
Thanks.
Any,
Any questions on that?
any additional questions? You've heard Chelsea's proposal or request. Is there a motion?
Move to approve the request for the allocation of funds for the dirt removal and grading,
Not to exceed.
$550,000.
We have a motion. Is there a second?
Second?
There's a second. Additional questions? Discussion?
I have an additional question.
Huh?
As far as the allocation of the expense, is that a part of the Shell building project, or is it part of the road project, or how is it allocated, the
So
expense?
it's actually going to go to the Shell building project, and Runabout is handling it as a whole now, the grading for the entire site, so extension road and the building. So it'll actually end up, money, he's gonna get, correct me if I'm wrong, will go to First Merchants, and it will be above our BOT agreement.
Gotcha. That's my only
Okay.
question.
Any other questions? Seeing none, all in favor of allocating an amount not to exceed $550,000 for additional grading on the site as described by Chelsea? All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion passes. Chelsea, banning change order?
We have before you a change order for Banning Engineering in the amount of $30,000 for additional design services related to the changing of scope on Bethel Road, from full roadway reconstruction, widening, design, mill, and overlay.
There were a number of issues related to that, unforeseen issues related to the Bethel Road portion of the project. And as a result, Banning Engineering had to re-engineer a couple of items in order to facilitate those unexpected issues. And that's why we have this change order. Is there a motion to approve change, amendment to the agreement number 4 in the amount of $30,000?
Make a motion to approve amendment to agreement number 4 in the amount of $30,000.
There's a motion to approve. Is there a second?
Second.
There's a second. Any questions or discussion? Seeing none, all in favor, aye?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstention, motion passes. Bill or Chelsea handling the next item?
We as a subcommittee interviewed brokers for the sale / leasing of the Shell building prior to or upon completion. And we interviewed several candidates to assist with that effort. And I will say that both of the companies that we met with were very prepared, very qualified, and both would have done a great job on this from my point of view. And I think the other people that were on the committee would probably share that sentiment. But I think the consensus recommendation would be to go with Cushman Wakefield as the broker for that property. But that was not an easy decision to arrive at. But that's our recommendation to the committee.
So the recommendation is Cushman Wakefield to be the commission's broker for this facility. And I understand legal has not had an opportunity to review an agreement. So what I would suggest is making a motion pending legal counsel's review and then naming a signature.
I would move for the selection of Cushman Wakefield upon legal review of the contract and Harold Gutzweiler's signatory.
We have a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
There's a second. Questions for Bill or for Chelsea on this matter? Seeing none, all in favor, aye?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstention, motion passes. Is there any other old business? Seeing none, new business. Any new business? Seeing none, legal update.
No legal update.
Economic development update. Chelsea?
I realized I omitted my report, so I apologize. I spent a lot of time on Project Catapult, really the last several months. And now that that is to the public, I do want to say thank you, in particular to Commissioner Gutzwiller. The commission as a whole, I think, has done more than anyone gives them credit for. I think you guys are this is the ultimate thankless job, other than maybe an occasional pizza that I've purchased over the last few years. There's no stipend, no, very little things. So I don't think this project would have been possible without foresight that you guys had to go out and purchase dirt. I think we would have been losing those jobs, losing that payroll, losing that tax base. So thank you to you guys for having the foresight, in particular to Mr. Gutzwiller, Commissioner Gutzwiller, personal story side note, but, I went, my 4-year-old was going to school the other day and said, Mom, are you going to school today? I said, yes, I am. So what's your teacher's name? And I said, Mr. Gutzwiller. Because a lot of times I've, felt really fortunate to learn from you and from all of your experience in economic development. So thank you, for leading us to get to this point. Also, thank you to legal counsel, because you really, I know it's what you paid to do, but you did really lead, from a legal standpoint, you did, all the documentation and everything. There was a lot of work on that, so thank you.
Thank you.
Happy to answer any questions anybody has.
Any questions for Chelsea? See none? Thank you. Legal, you look like you're chomping at the bit. Okay.
I would just say Chelsea gave her the thanks, but she did a lot of the heavy lifting as well, so better word to be left out.
Absolutely, and thank you, Chelsea. We approved claims at our last meeting, so there are no claims to approve. Anything for the good of the order? Seeing none, the next regularly scheduled meeting of the Redevelopment Commission is January the 2nd. That should be 2020 at 6 p.m. And if there is nothing else, I will accept a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
We are adjourned. Thank you all.
Merry Christmas.
Happy
Have a good Christmas.